Go.
Hello, you are watching my YouTube channel. I'm your host Kamran. So today I've invited a guest from a vlog and I want to discuss her life, her visions, her goals, and most importantly, her field. Hello again and welcome. We are delighted to have Gloria Atha here today with us. Gloria, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Cameron. It's a pleasure being here once again.
All right. Gloria, first of all, to kick off, could you please tell us what inspired you to pursue a career as news anchor and reporter, journalist, and media presenter?
Well, I would say it's passion. Passion for I love the media. It's something I've always wanted to do from a very young age. I remember during elementary school, I had told myself I wanted to be a newscaster. I used to have like an imaginary show, and I would just sit down in the living room with no audience, and I would just host pretend shows in my head. And when I finally got to school, primary, secondary school, sometimes I'll just gather my classmates together and, would talk, would interact as if I was hosting a TV show. And sometimes I'll just sit down and read newspapers. So it's passion for me. It's something I've always wanted to do. And then growing up, the need to also contribute my own quota to nation building, national development came to mind as well. When I became an adult, there were a lot of lapses in society, and I wanted to lend my voice, and I also wanted to amplify the voices of others. I love to listen to stories, and I also love to tell stories. So these were some of the things that motivated me to pursue a career in journalism.
Okay, this is actually the thing. This is actually the place you wanted to be. You thought about that, or you dreamed about that. You have to become an anchor in future, or you have to pursue this career, or you had another plan. If you are not being able to get that position, then you will do that. Plan A
Well,
or Plan B.
well, my parents had known from a really young age that this was something I wanted to do. I remember that when I got to senior secondary school, I had like a switch because in senior secondary school, I started having classmates who wanted even more professional courses in quotes. People were picking up courses in law, in medicine, in engineering, and the likes. And I told myself that because I wanted this a part of me wanted to also help people, like I said earlier. So I told myself I was going to study law.
Mm,
I wanted to be a legal practitioner. But
mm,
then on the side, I told
mm,
myself that I was going to still
mm,
have a TV program. I was still going to be involved with the media. So everything I wanted to do, somehow I also wanted to, you know, still get involved in the media. So if you really look at it, the media has always been plan A for me, because any other thing I want to do or any other dream I've thought of doing, I've always thought of doing it with the media. So everything I wanted to do, somehow I
mm,
also doing it with the media.
mm. All right, Doria, is there any person behind you who inspired you, who told you that you are made for this?
Um, Well, my family, they've been my biggest
Mm,
supporters. They've always, just given me a go ahead. It's something they know I love, and they've always given me the backing. But one of the things that really inspired me growing up, like I said, I used to enjoy watching television a lot. I would sit down to watch here in Nigeria, we have 9 p.m. news. That's like the national news. And my dad would always sit down to watch it. And anytime I sit down to watch the news with him, I always dreamed of seeing myself in that position. And when I grew older, I came across Oprah Winfrey, and I loved what she was doing. She has a magazine program. I loved the kind of content, because she wasn't just entertaining. She was educating, and she was impacting on lives with the kind of people she brought on board, with the kind of stories she told. And I told myself, I want to be the Oprah Winfrey
Mm.
of my own time when I grow up. And I'm not there yet, but at least I've started that journey already.
All right. What challenges and difficulties did you face throughout your career so far?
Um, some of the challenges I would say I faced is that, um, it's actually not so easy when you're coming as a new or as a young professional in any field, because there are people who have been there, and it takes a lot for you to um, break through, for you to break in and carve your own niche. So it has not been easy. I would say this has been more of like a learning process for me.
Mm.
I'm still learning, learning, and then that has been one of the major challenges. And then when I started the career as well, I didn't have um, I have mentors, but I still haven't had the opportunity to um, be in certain spaces
Mm.
that would still propel me even further. So
Mm.
these are the few challenges, because it's like
Mm.
I'm doing the bulk of the work by myself, trying to figure things out on my own, making mistakes and learning from those mistakes. So yeah,
Dolia, do you make goals or you like challenges?
I didn't get you.
Actually, you make goals.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
I
and
make
you like challenges?
yes, I
Because
actually
it's
do.
my
I would.
perception when I find myself in any difficulty, so I take it as challenge that it's challenging for me. So then I get an energy, and then I am able to do that in the right direction. So what do you do when you find yourself in any difficulty? Or you take as a challenge, or you said that today is a bad day?
Well, I have those moments when I say today is a bad day, but then for most of the time, I look at the major reason why I started it in the first place. Like if if I have there are certain days,
Mm-hmm.
journalism is a stressful career. There are certain days I'm at the peak of that stress, and I'm like, I ask myself, why am I even doing this? And then I sit down, I go back to that drawing board, and I go back to the reason. You love this. I'll tell myself, no matter the stress, I would rather do this than do any other thing. So it's the passion that keeps me going, is the impact I want to create,
Mm-hmm.
it's the joy I bring to others, and the joy that and feeling of completion that comes to my heart. These are the things that keep me going when I'm facing challenges. And then this ultimate goal, I don't look at my now. There's a picture that I have in my head of where I want to be, who I want to be. And when I'm in that phase where I'm going through a challenge, I look at that person, the redefined successful Gloria, and I'm like, no, you shouldn't give up right now. You are not there yet. So, I just keep pushing and I keep going.
Mm. All right, let's move on, Gloria. How has your education in mass communication prepared you for working in both broadcast and print media? And what are the key differences you have noticed between the two mediums?
Um, well, I studied mass communication,
Yeah,
as you
I've
already
also
know.
done masters in mass communication, so
Oh, that's
we
great.
have on same page.
That's great.
All
That's
right,
great to
go ahead.
hear. Yeah, so in school, I made sure one of the things I always do, I try to put my heart into anything I'm doing. So
Mm,
while I was in the university, I ensured that I
mm,
keyed into everything, every opportunity that I was exposed to. In school, we had group work, we had group presentations, we had study tours, we had field work, we had volunteering opportunities. My school
Mm,
had a community radio, and my school was located in a small community. Um, and we had like a campus radio station, so there were opportunities for students, especially students of mass communication, to volunteer there. And that was also an opportunity that would prepare you for the future, for what you'd experience on the field. And we also had internships. I don't know if in Pakistan you have the opportunity to go for
mm,
internship, but we had internship opportunities where we were exposed to real life news news stations. We worked there for a couple of months. I did mine for 3 months. I worked there, and while I was there, I had the opportunity to go to the field, carry out reports, do vox pops, learn how to do voiceovers. And then back in school, in our own class, we had assignments. I remember certain assignments we were giving to. There were times when maybe in radio production class, you'd be told to make a jingle. For certain people, they were told to do to do radio programs with indigenous languages, a broad range of subjects. There was also a time that we did this particular, we went on this trip. We went to a rural community. I'm trying to remember the course it was under. I can't really remember right now, but we went to a rural community. We interviewed residents of that community. We knew their challenges. We did a report about it. There were times, like I said, we did group works, we did presentations on public speaking, we did courses on advertising. So for
mm,
some people, they would say it wasn't really enough, but like I said, I tried my best to key into it. Whenever the opportunity came,
mm,
I ensured that I participated and just got the most out of it. And then when it comes to the differences between print and broadcast, well, for me, I think the difference is actually quite clear. Print is just purely visual, and broadcast is audio visual. And that's what I'm currently doing,
mm,
broadcast. I've always loved broadcast, although I enjoy print as well, writing, where you get to write a lot, newspapers, magazines, and all. But then if you're someone who gets immersed by reading, you have a very imaginative mind, print is the go-to for you. And
mm,
then if you like a bit of the visual and then the audio together, then you just delve into broadcast as well. So
mm.
those are the major differences for me.
All right, Gloria. Can you share an example of a challenging news story you covered and how you ensured the accuracy and integrity of your reporting?
Well, the last time we had an interview, I shared it, and I think that still tops as my most
Mm,
challenging story, which was sometime last year. I did a special report on child mining, underaged mining here in Nigeria, and I had to travel to
mm,
another state. I had to travel to a village. It was a rural area, and they were speaking a language that was not the official language, and it was quite challenging communicating with them. Luckily for me, I understood the language a bit, so it was easy. And then it was a dangerous place because most of them were, majority of the people working there, if not all of them, were uneducated. They were scavengers. And when I got there, I was the only person looking different from, although I tried to disguise as much as I could. I dressed up to look like them, but it was obvious that I wasn't one of them. So it was quite
mm,
challenging to get them to, warm up to me before getting the information I needed from them. And it's always challenging when you're carrying out special reports like that, having access to people in government to talk to you, to give like a feedback or a response to some of these findings that you have. Like currently, since I've done that story, I haven't gotten the feedback that I'm waiting for on the part of the government. And it's quite challenging to know that you put in that kind of energy, you put in your resources, your time, even your
Hmm.
safety at risk, and
Hmm.
that much needed impact you desire hasn't still come.
Hmm. Okay. Gloria, how do you approach managing social media accounts for news outlets? And what strategies do you use to maintain and grow an engaged audience?
Well, I don't really do a lot of social media management per se,
The one thing
but
I
if
observed in
I
your
want,
personality that you are not very active in social media. Why? This is actually the question I am talking about because you are a journalist and you are covering the news. You are the news anchor as well. You have done mass studies in mass communication. So why you are not very active on social media like Twitter, like Facebook, like Insta, like LinkedIn? You have
hmm,
an account on LinkedIn as well because that's why I am reaching you. But the thing is, you are not giving your videos, your articles on that. Because if I want to reach you, then how can I reach you? That what you are doing right now, what is actually happening in your country? Actually, this is my question. If you don't mind, can you tell me?
well, personally, which a lot of people find it hard to believe, but I'm actually quite private. I'm a private person and quite shy as well.
Yeah,
And I
I
find it
observed
a
it.
bit so I find it a bit difficult sometimes to interact on social media. But I'm trying to create that balance. Most times if
Gauri,
I
you are
have
doing a
something,
right job. This is the thing. So I want to know about your success. I want to know that what you are doing right now. So you have to active on LinkedIn, Insta. You need to make accounts on every social media platform because definitely you have fans, you have workers who wants to cover you, you have people who are in touch with you. So it will be easy for you to communicate with them on every
the
platform.
struggle most the struggle most times is just creating that balance. Most times I actually have a lot of things I want to share. Most times there's a lot of things I'm doing in the background, but creating that time to put it out for people who don't know me to see it is where the problem comes most of the time. Most of the time, the people who even have a bit of access to me are people who are on more personal social media platforms like maybe WhatsApp and maybe Facebook once in a while, but it's something I'm working towards. One of the reasons why I shy away a bit from social media management is content. Producing content isn't such an easy thing to do because it requires a lot of consistency, and I haven't been able to create that balance where I'll be consistent about making a post and airing my views. So I would just say this period is a period where I'm still trying to um, properly understand the terrain so that when I come, I would be coming with, a lot of fire, and I would be able
All right.
to, make
Gloria,
that
how do you stay
impact.
updated?
Mm. Through social media, funnily enough, through social media. So I don't post content, but I feed a lot on social media. I In the morning, once I wake up, even before I go to the office, I check Facebook, I check Instagram, I check WhatsApp, I check I read newspapers. I enjoy reading newspapers. I
The one
check
thing I
the
noticed in you that you enjoy every moment of your life. This is a good thing. You don't think negative.
yes.
You give the space to the people.
Yes.
I'm following you since I made my LinkedIn account, and definitely I have the access to reach you directly. So I observed in you, this is a very nice thing that you think positive, you enjoy every moment of the life because you think that life, we have to live a life very fleshly, very healthy, right?
Yes, definitely. I would always tell people around me that the world is actually a stressful place. Honestly, if you want to focus on what isn't working, there's a lot
Mm.
to complain about. Once you open social media, from the wars in the Middle East to the tension even in my own country, to some other African countries, and even outside, there's so much to make you depressed. There's a lot of information, and if you're not conscious about filtering them, you just find out that you're a depressed person. You're just sad, you're angry. So when I see all that, when I come back home, I try to relax by focusing on the good things: family, friends. Of course, they could also be annoying, but then I pick out the good things about them, and those are the things I just fix my gaze on, and you know derive my joy from. That is what I do.
All right. Gloria,
So
last
yeah,
question. Where do you see yourself after 2 years?
2 years. Well,
You are
part
on
of
a
my
getting married in 2 years.
well, I don't really know what to say about that. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. But then, I'm looking at, in the next 2 years, professionally. I'm hoping to be rounding up my masters. I haven't started though, but
Mm.
it's something I intend starting really soon. So I intend having a master's degree still in mass communication, or with maybe um, I'll dedicate more attention to, maybe I would focus more on either PR or still journalism, because PR is another aspect of mass communication I seem to love. And professionally as well, I hope to have sharpened some skills like the social media skills. It's something I would like to explore. I would want to test deeper waters. I want to start doing a bit of presenting, um, a different kind of presenting. I already do presenting, but um, that phase of actualizing my dream of being the Oprah Winfrey of my time. Of course, it would start by me owning my own show. So it's something I'm looking towards, and getting relevant courses that would help make this the actualization of these dreams even faster. And of course, in the next 2 years, I hope to have more money and I to have more money in my bank account. It's very important.
All right. Gloria, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a wonderful having you here and learning from your experiences. But before we wrap
Thank you
up,
so much for having
is there
me.
anything you would like to share with our audience or any message you would like to say them?
At this point in time, what I would like to share with anybody who is watching this is that celebrate your little wins. Whatever it is you're doing, just take time to appreciate yourself. My personality, I think sometimes I get to be the biggest critique of myself. Most times when people even tell me, oh, you're doing so much, or you're doing this, you're doing that, because my mind is too fixated on a goal I've set, I don't even realize that some of the things that I have achieved were things, or some of the milestones I've reached milestones I never even imagined that I would get to. So one of the things I'm trying to be more intentional about is enjoying each moment as it comes, celebrate them as they come, accept the mistakes that I have made in good faith, while applying them to ensure that there wouldn't be a repeat. Because each experience we have, both good or bad, they all form to come together to make us who we are. That is what makes life sweet in the real sense. It's not just one experience, it's experiences: the good, the bad, the bitter. I like to call myself a book. And when you read a book, each chapter comes with its own gist, sometimes good, sometimes bitter. But at the end of the day, that is what makes the story a good read. So that is what I would advise anybody watching this.
And enjoy every
Ensure
moment
that
of
in your
life
life
like you.
you enjoy every moment, you embrace both the challenges, the opportunities, the good, the bad together, and then you sift it out and, just be the best you can be.
All right, Gloria. Thank you so much again. Have a blessed day. Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Cameron. And yeah, goodbye.
Bye.